All right. Good afternoon. This is Ifan from the Strategic Day Trader, and this is your market wrap for March 11th, 2019. SPY up 1.5%, a little over 1.5%, and Q's 2.14, so a little over 2.1%. Now, if you recall Friday's video, there's a couple of things I think we can kind of elaborate on or pick up from Friday. Is that we talked about how the daily had pulled back to support. We had a grind, so there's no acceleration, there's no basing. It's just grinding its way higher. Attempts to move lower are getting bought, and that even though this was kind of a first time on the weekly to get this break, that based on the daily, it's going to be hard to get a nice sell-off. If we would have to base for a bit, set up for another entry. And so you see what's happening right today is that we completely erased Wednesday and Thursday's sell-off. Okay, so this kind of thing, I think if you've been trading the market over the last 8 years, the bullish market, you've seen this before, and you've seen these trend days before. We can take the same concept, right, of the grind higher. The pullbacks will be short-lived. The manner in which it's grinding, you're not getting wide range bars, right? On the move up, you're not getting extension, okay? Look at today's intraday on the Qs. Now, I know there were, some people asking when the market looked like this, maybe the top is in, okay? Maybe the top is in Qs and SPY. We're into some resistance to the left there, so on and so forth. I mean, you obviously see how that would have worked out. And this was what I brought to, the person asking, brought to his attention, that we did a grind higher. We may be at some resistance area, but we did a grind higher. I thought it was even more clear on the SPY, right? Grind higher. Okay, so you have these small bars, you're not accelerating, you're not getting wide range bars. It's very tough. And, I didn't know with 100% certainty that we didn't get some follow through to this topping tail and that we didn't come in. The thing is, though, when you are in this grind, that first drop, and sometimes there's only that first drop, also doesn't yield a lot of return, right, on these shorts, right, because support's been created to the left. Okay, so I thought that we were pretty spot on that coming into today, we got the sell-off to support. Now, in this downtrend, if you recall, right, we were looking at the short term on this hourly here. We broke, right, and then I said next sell setup, we can look for a short. There it was, right, and then we came in and then we gapped down to support. And if we got another sell setup, we can look for some kind of maybe around this 20 MA where this previous resistance was, we can look for short. Now, instead, got to that area and blew right through it, right? Just bullish, 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 right? Continue the bullish, right? So now what we have to look at is on the next pullback or on the next breakout, if we decide to base sideways instead, as an opportunity to be now short-term bullish and back to long-term bullish. Okay, so we noted daily uptrend still intact here. This was just a pullback to support, and now the hourly has ended the downtrend. So on the next either breakout, pullback, hourly can be looked at as bullish. Now, the other thing that I wanted to bring up that we discussed on Friday was the all-day trend. Now, I don't think the Qs really meets the criteria there to kind of be considered from the open, is this going to be an all-day trend? But if you happen to be in the Qs, you identify early enough, which we identified at 10 o'clock after the first 3 minutes, that was looking like a trend day, and that this could go all day. How do you want to manage? And the management that I propose, and you don't have to do it for the whole thing, I would almost recommend that not do the whole thing, because psychologically, it's really hard to know that you could give back the whole thing without, having it be up nicely. And giving back, I think, is a pretty tough thing to deal with when it comes to trading. So, I would just a third, a quarter to manage hourly bar by bar. And so what you saw here today in the Qs was a way to stay in this until now. Well, you're not going to get a fully formed hourly bar. We only have 17 minutes left, so you definitely be looking to take it. But so it not only occurs in individual symbols that are being bought or sold all day, but in the market itself, you can see nice hourly there on the Qs and SPY as well. Okay, so nice move there on the Qs and SPY. Okay, so going into tomorrow, look for the next breakout or buy setup as bullish. We can start here if right now as neutral. We'll have to wait for the next one, and then that will be a bullish setup. Okay, where would we have to go back to bearish? We'd have to, if we get some kind of sell-off and then a lower high, maybe that would be the starting point. But based on what we have here, this is now where support is. Okay, on the Qs here, it's going to be 169.30, and on the SPY, it's going to be 270, 240. Don't really have another setup. I'm saying we can anticipate maybe a lower high if this gets a sell-off, and the lower high as a chance to look for an hourly downtrend, but there's really nothing right now on this chart, so I don't think we'll get all of that tomorrow, the break of the trend, and so we'll have to see what tomorrow brings us. Okay, as far as individual names, no trades for me today. First time I checked since January 10th, so no day trades for me today. So I'm not going to go over anything because like I could go over some things that I saw that didn't work and that I passed on, and then but what's the point if I already knew that there were issues with it? So I'm not really, I guess, touting anything because it was, if it was my idea to begin with and it didn't work, and then good for me for passing, I guess. But then also, I mean, same goes for the things that I saw that did work that weren't perfect. That I didn't play, then if I just show those, then it's just cherry picking. So, you know, I think we just want to go over the market here and then just understand that, you know, I know for me on days like today, because I trade gaps and I did not have anything ranked that could be played at the open, that today is going to be the kind of day where there's not going to be a lot for me to choose from. And especially that combined with the trend day, if you don't get something long at the open, it's going to feel like it's too late. If it's still hanging around, then it's actually showing relative weakness if it's not participating. So, you know, and then a lot of the shorts don't follow through because the market's too strong. So I know that those things combined for me are going to create a tough trading day for me, especially if I, you know, feel like I need to chase. So, you know, it's, if today's like days like today, like say you get something long early or you're okay with kind of falling in, then by all means, you know, go after. It's just, I think it's good for all of us to know that which environments may be a little bit tougher. You know, it's not that today is impossible, and I'm sure some people did well, right? But I just know that for me, it's going to be tough. And so the last thing I want to do is take something, right, that I know isn't the best quality. If it doesn't work, what's going to happen? I'm going to look to take the next thing that I can, and that may be even lower in quality or less in line with my plan, right? And then it becomes a downward spiral. So that's the thing I want to avoid, right? So I only wanted to do something perfect on a day where I know that it's probably not going to be a lot for me. Okay, so but, you know, I thought we introduced some good concepts on Friday as far as management. And then today, really good example of follow through on a pullback in a grind, right? So hopefully we saw this, and you saw this intraday on the SPY, which was a good microcosm for, again, we get this grind and anybody picking the top, unless you were like really, really precise, which I'm sure some people can scalp for these really precise and get some out. I know for me, trying to pick these tops usually is going to result in a down day in an uptrending market. Being a trend follower, I look at this and just try, and what stands out to me are where there are points to get in and join in on this uptrend, right? So So hopefully you did well today. If not, you stayed out of trouble. Okay, we are out of earnings season. We'll see how this week plays out. I thought last week slowed down a little bit, but maybe this week we'll still have some decent gaps to work with. All right. So I will talk to you tomorrow. Hope you had a good day today and hope you have a great evening. We'll see what the market brings us, and I will talk to you tomorrow. All right. Have a good evening.